This is the final installment of the Hunger Games flipped lecture series. Students need to be able to summarize the main events, explain and evaluate any character development, and discuss the themes developed in the selection. If there's any irony, they need to discuss that as well. They also need to pay attention to the summary of events, including the finale, the rule change, and the aftermath. They need to know specifically how the themes of suffering for entertainment and the importance of appearances were made use of in this selection. The mutations chase Cato, Peeta, and Katniss to the cornucopia. Katniss is able to save Peeta from a mutation who grabs him by the leg, and then the mutations get a hold. Cato tries to get a hold of Peeta as well, and Katniss outwits him by shooting an arrow in his hand. He falls off the cornucopia and the mutations attack him, but they don't kill him immediately. After a horrendous night where Cato is mauled by the mutations, Katniss ends his life out of pity. Cato's death does not end the games, and the game makers announce another rule change, invoking the initial rule change that allowed both Katniss and Peeta to survive. Katniss and Peeta argue about who should die. Peeta says he's going to bleed to death anyway, and he loves Katniss, and she should live. Katniss says she is not going home without him. She pulls out the handful of nightlock berries she saved to try and poison Cato earlier, and suggests that they simply die together in the arena, mentally banking on the fact that the game makers would not allow them to go without a tribute. The game makers do in fact cave and declare 2 tributes. Both Katniss and Peeta have survived the Hunger Games. Katniss and Peeta receive medical treatment that restores them to full health after they are rescued from the arena. And Haymitch tells Katniss that the Capitol is very angry with her because her act that saved them is perceived as an act of rebellion. Katniss thus must continue to pretend to be in love with Peeta in order to save his life, her life, and the lives of all those that they care about. Peeta discovers the ruse in that Katniss was communicating with Haymitch throughout the thing and only pretending to be in love with him. He is naturally very hurt by this and agrees to continue to pretend just to save everybody. But Katniss is afraid of losing Peeta when they get there, so her feelings have actually changed. We see the suffering for entertainment here in this drawn-out finale. The game makers don't let Cato die quickly. They pull it out, they draw it out, and they leave him to suffer. We also see it in the dehumanizing of the deceased tributes. They have literally been turned into monsters, their eyes put in the heads of monsters, and made nothing more than killing machines. They don't have any more personality. The suffering for entertainment is also the reason the suicide ploy succeeds. If Cato and Katniss both died, their suicide would have been tragic, not entertaining. And since that would have upset the audience, there's no point in allowing it to happen. They have to give in, or they're basically screwed either way. The importance of appearances is here more than ever, because if Katniss cannot convince everybody that she was in love with Peeta, then Katniss will have the problem of suffering cruel fates at the hand of the Capitol. So again, more important than ever, she must pretend and must convince everybody else that she feels a way she does not. You have a final quiz and discussion question. You may complete these, and you are done with the Hunger Games. We will continue an extension lesson next week.